Okay. So again, we're getting closer to the end. I wonder what's gonna happen. It seems like we're just, nothing too like life-threatening at the moment. In chapter 9 of Chevalier's like route, which is like, helping people, the clinics, making them not die and everything. Is that how it's gonna end? I don't know. Are we gonna have a confrontation with Sir Mithros maybe? Or like, again, his name is Myth, not Sir Mithros, but I don't know. Anyway. The Martian was quiet when we returned. Everyone had already disappeared into their own rooms, and so I went straight to mine. I also forced Chevalier to go back to his. He's been on his feet all day and he needs to rest. I plopped down to my bed as soon as we returned home. I glanced briefly to the side, where Chevalier's bouquet is in the vase Parfait had given to me. Who is it? Parfait! Come in. You returned. Parfait looks paler than normal. I realized with a start that Chevalier did not tend to her at all today. Oh, don't look at me like that, I'm fine. How were the soldiers at the clinic? Not good. Many of them have been gravely wounded. Some say they remembered magic, others say they did not remember anything at all. A shadow falls over Parfait's expression as she sighs. So the circumstances are dire than we thought. It's a good thing Chevalier is there to lend a helping hand. Did you all manage to come up with a plan? It's proving more difficult than we anticipated. Laura and I are willing to put ourselves in danger. Walt is too, because he can use magic to a certain extent. The knights in Karma have their blades. But Chevalier, well, I do not want him to involve him in this. Because you're worried about him. Of course I am. You've grown, princess. You remind me of a younger Hidir. Back then, Hidir was both calm and resilient. One moment she could be smiling ear to ear, the next she'd be strict and unmovable as cold as ice. Two of us were like sisters. We did so much together. We learned together, explored the kingdom together. I can say with all certainty that we were the best of friends and maybe something more, I don't know. It's too late now. We can't have our Yuri ending. Oh, no. And then the fairy tales happened. When Hidir killed the first human, she was corrupted. Her darkness swallowed her whole. I do not remember a time before her mother was corrupted, and so I cannot imagine the woman Parfait describes. I know the old Hidir would have wanted to show you the beauty in things, princess. She would not have wanted you to suffer. I'm sorry you became so embroiled in things. It was inevitable. If Laura hadn't cursed me, then I would still be in the palace, and I would just be as helpless as everyone else. While I'm out here, I have the responsibility to help everyone. I touched the incomplete glass slipper in my neck. I still haven't even done 3 good deeds. Don't look so sad. You will complete your good deeds and things will go back to normal. And of course, you'll still have friends here when you return. And come to your 18th birthday, Laura and I will teach you about magic. Walt is eager to help you too, as long as we don't all die from Mithros' uprising, but don't worry about that. But for now, our top priority is a plan. Rest easy, princess. Things will work out. It's hard to believe that this problem could so easily be solved, but I will try to believe. When Parfait leaves, I'm left to my own thoughts. I hope everyone at the palace is okay, and that they can hold on until we come up with our plan. I feel like we are running out of time. Days go by, and I find myself assisting Chevalier at times. Other times I remain at the Martian to help conceptualize a plan. None of our plans have actually shown any promise yet, but with all our minds put together, we should be able to come up with something. And then the witches are just still hanging out, in the castle. They're not doing anything else. They're just like, alright, we took over the castle, now what? I guess we just hang out, You're not gonna do anything else, I don't know. A week later, I find myself standing outside the clinic door, waiting for Chevalier. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, princess. You can drop the title, Lucette, but you are a princess in my eyes. Yes, but you do not need to address me by title. Just my name is fine. Chevalier reaches out to take my hand, then immediately pulls his hand back, eyes wide. Ah, I forgot it. Got what? The medicine that I needed for a parfait. Give me a moment, Lucette. Delia plants a quick kiss on my forehead before running inside. I stare at the stars as I wait. I turn back, but I see no one walking around the plaza. I inch closer toward the door of the clinic as I take another look around. Boo. What, Nani? I suddenly see the silhouette of a man. Whenever someone says boo, obviously, originally it's meant to I'll scare you, right? But actually, it's ironically not very scary, I guess. But I guess this person, who is this person? I assume Varg? I guess he's saying it ironically, That's the point, I guess. He takes a few more steps toward me and then stops in front of me. I recognize him immediately. His appearance left quite an impression on me the last time. Out at night by yourself? Certainly you know that Wells prowl these streets at night. What do you want? I take a step back and press myself to the door. I reach for the door handle, but the man reaches out a hand to grab my wrist, holding it to the door. I'd say my answer to that question is complicated, princess. By the expression on your face, I must have hit the nail right in the head, eh? You are the princess. How do you know who I am? That is part of the mystery, isn't it? I attempt to wrestle my wrist out of his fingers. Come with me quietly and you will get hurt. Why is it always... I always see it, I guess, it's kind of a trope too. Cliche trope, but every time, usually a man grabs a lady's wrist, then she just becomes helpless. Don't you know your basic self-defense judo, just turn your wrists a certain way and then pull. And then they can't grab you, so... Anyway, of course I'm gonna scream for help. I refuse to go anywhere with him. I open my mouth to scream, but before I can breathe, the man's hand flies to my mouth. Damn it, every time. You're a disobedient one, aren't you? I struggle against his grasp, but it does not take long for the grin to fall from his face. It is replaced with a look that lacks any amusement. I enjoy seeing you struggle, but I'm afraid we've been out here for too long. I bang my shoulder against the door, and a resounding creak follows my attempt. Well, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Were you ever nice? I don't know. The man opens a small vial in front of my face. Something sweet wafts in the air, and I suddenly feel myself falling into darkness as I collapse. Oh, and we're back to our palace room, I guess. It was all a dream. Don't worry about it. Anyway, where am I? I glance around me. My room. I look around cautiously, checking to see if anything in my room is different. The last time I was here was before I was cursed. How is it that this room is the same? Because probably no one ever touched it, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I remember her saying that in the Rod route, right? Because she actually seen this room a lot earlier. I don't remember. What was it? I guess I think it was the king, right? Yeah, it was actually King Gennaro who kept the room the same. Because even though he couldn't remember Lucette in particular, he just knew the room was special, so he just kept the room, normal, I guess. Maybe told his servants to keep it clean and everything. Maybe that's why, So I guess it's kind of like an implication that, the king probably did care about Lucette after all, It was just like a misunderstanding. It's just that he couldn't get close to Lucette because initially her mother stopped him from getting close and everything, right? And also probably some hesitation as well, but he probably did care. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway. Sleeping Beauty has awoken. I moved to stand up before realizing that my legs are numb. Oh, shame to see you so easily tamed, princess. I never thought you'd be more fun. I glance up to look at the man, who is now standing right at my bedside. How do you know who I am? Were you a witch? No witch? Me? Huh. He burst into laughter. I would rip the witches to shreds if I could. If you could, then you're cursed? The man simply smirks at me, but says nothing in response. He brushes the words aside with a gesture of his hand. Are you working for Mithros? Probably. I glare at his vague answer. My name is Vard. I've been assigned to be your personal knight. Personal knight, eh? I was wondering, what happens if you spell his name backwards? Is it Grav? Okay, maybe that's not. Because thinking maybe if you spell his name backwards, you might reveal something, but maybe not. I don't know. I already have a personal knight. Oh, you mean Fritz? I got rid of him. What? You? No playing with the queen's daughter, Varg. Mithros enters the room. Now he stands in the doorway, eyeing the both of us with a smile that's so oddly reminiscent of a usual one that makes me sick. I guess Fritz is dead again, but... Mithros. Princess, you look more and more like your mother every day. Why, the scowl on your face is almost a perfect reflection. He moves to stand in front of me. At the same time, Var begins to take slow and careful footsteps to the edge of my room. What have you done with everyone? Inconsequential or consequential? What? Mithros clicks his tongue impatiently. Inconsequential or consequential people? I narrow my eyes at him. I have no idea how he defines as inconsequential or consequential. Where are the king and the rest of the family? Where is Fritz? Were you the one who killed Sir Alcaster? It's inconsequential and consequential then. To start, your knight is gone, princess. I replaced him with Varg here. And Alcaster, well, we had a common cause at first. We both wanted the crown. Sir Alcaster was also betraying the king, yep. But Alcaster was a brute. He wanted to needlessly kill the royal family and steal the crown for himself. At first I thought he was calm and calculating. But it turns out that he was just a power-hungry fool. Though I did want to take the crown, I wanted to avoid the bloodshed of certain important people. Okay. I imagine Sir Alcaster is like chaotic evil, and Mithros is more lawful evil, you know? He's still evil, but like, you know, he isn't as violent, you know? At least openly violent anyway. Mithros smiles at me. It is a look that makes my blood run cold. So I disposed of him and the rest of his knights. But don't worry, princess. I assure you that your family is resting in their rooms, just like you are resting in yours. What? Do not worry, you will see them shortly for dinner. I have my doubts about Mithros' story, but what if he said was true, then so Alcaster wanted to kill the royal family and Mithros saved them? Yeah, sort of. That's sort of what happened in the Rod route, but at the same time, he destroyed all the knights and he has witches here? I don't know. Yeah, but then he decimated the knights and took the royal family hostage? Why would he do such a thing? They're prisoners then. Prisoners in their own home? Nonsense. We're all just awaiting the Queen's return together. The Queen? Slowly I feel pieces beginning to fit together. The Queen? He cannot be talking about Ophelia. Laura, do you think witches are capable of bringing back the dead? Wait a minute. Is he using necromancy? Mother's dead. Is she really? You can bring Mother back from the dead? You can't do that. You'll lose an arm and a leg, you know? And a body as well. We can, princess. Oh, wait a minute. Are we being sacrificed? Uh-oh. When you think about it, equivalent exchange, eh? Maybe we need to sacrifice us? Uh-oh. We? The Queen has been resting for a long time, waiting for you to gain your powers so that you can help her escape her prison. You hate a smug look? Yeah, he's very smug. You're not making any sense. I struggle to keep my words from faltering. How is Mother alive? And what does he mean by a prison? The Tenebrarum is the Queen's prison. It is linked to the Queen's power. Though others presume she was dead, the Queen sealed the last of her powers inside the crystal. All she requires is your power, princess. My power? When you become the next bearer, you will have the ability to release the Queen from her prison. Interesting. Okay. We didn't know about this before. This is probably what he was trying to do in the Rod as well, right? That's what he probably gonna ask, after either a bad end, usually like a bad end probably he asks, I helped you your favor, now help the queen get released, and you're forced to do it or something, My birthday is in a week. That's when I meant to take on the responsibilities of becoming the bearer, though Parfait and Delora never went into more detail beyond that. You'll finally get to see your mother again, princess. I still cannot quite take in everything he just said. However, if Mithros had approached me before the curse, I would have helped Mother in a heartbeat. But it was Mother who was the last Tenebrae bearer and the one who brought darkness to Angel. I once believed that Mother was the only person that ever loved me. Now I know that I was wrong, that she shut me in from a world that I should have known. But still, even now, I still wish she was here. We never actually met Hidir, Maybe, I don't know, maybe we should, make her turn over a new leaf, Make her go through like a Cinderella curse again, Make her good? I don't know. I take a deep breath. But I cannot afford to be selfish. I cannot put anyone else in danger. I will not help you. You don't have a choice, princess. I have set the stage for my queen's return. All that's left is to free her from her cage. We will speak more of this at the dining table. Mithros leaves the room, leaving me briefly with Varg. Varg smiles at me beneath his mask, then brings his index finger to the temple of his head and loops it. Loop? I mean, as in he's crazy? Oh. He mouths the word crazy. Oh, okay. You said you would tear the witches apart, so why do you serve Mithros? A good question. A good question, that's it. You're not gonna answer me. How perceptive of you, princess. He's also smug. Everyone's so smug. Why are you so smug? He smirks at me before following Mithros out the door. I'm once again left by myself in the room. Everything Mithros just told me swirls through my mind. My mother, alive, and he killed everyone only to take the crown and keep it for her. A shudder runs through my body. Now Mithros is just very yandere. She cannot return. I spend the next hour looking around my room for things that might aid my escape. I know where everyone else's rooms are too, but I have no idea how heavily guarded they are, and I doubt I could help them. I must return to the Martian. I test the window, but it is locked, probably with magic. I search my shelves. The dolls that used to comfort me can do nothing for me now. Last, I check my drawers, but though there are many things in them, there's nothing that looks like it could help me escape. As I'm searching, I come across a box and pause to pick it up. Dang, is this a secret, super secret box? What is it? I remember this. It was given to me by my mother with strict instructions not to open it, and always keep the key hidden. I search the drawer again for the key. The moment I begin to set the box down, I see a small golden key at the bottom of the drawer. Okay, amazing, I don't know, just random plot device, just out of nowhere. I pick it up and am about to open the box when I stop. This is hardly a priority right now. I set the key down next to the box. I should be searching for a way to escape. Okay, maybe not. I was thinking maybe maybe by opening the box, we get some superpowers and throw fireballs everywhere. I don't know. Maybe not. I turn to see Varg's smiling face at the door. Well, you look like a criminal who's just been caught doing something naughty, says the criminal himself. Well, maybe we're meant for each other. I don't know, do you have a route? I don't think you do. I narrow my eyes as he approaches. Behind his back, I make out the open door. Though you do remind me of someone. Well, I'm not gonna say it in case... I have a theory about Varg, but I'm not gonna say it because I feel like it's too early, It might spoil it. For myself, really, so I'm not gonna think about it. Anyway. Don't even think about it. Yeah, don't think about spoiling my true identity, even though I don't know who you are really. You don't want me to pounce you in the hallways, do you? That would be unpleasant. Varg grabs my wrist. I attempt to struggle free, I struggle free, but he holds tight to me. I will be your escort to dinner tonight. I keep my head high as Varg escorts me from the room. And we don't get to open the box though. What's in the box? We see the box, but we don't get to open it. Such a tease. On the way to the dining room, I glimpse the rest of the palace. It is mostly empty save for a few soldiers. The soldiers that do stand there have a glazed look in their eyes and look right through me. Puppets. A spell cast by Mythos? Varg does not answer me as he pulls me through the hallway. Soon I find myself in the dining hall. The guards usually standing by the walls are gone. Now there's only the royal family and they seem to be unharmed. You... I can see recognition in the king's eyes. My heart flutters as he stands or tries to. He manages to rise but only just barely. I notice that his feet stay firmly planted where they are. Everybody's bodies look exceptionally stiff. Is this some kind of spell? You are the girl that was outside my palace months ago. Mythos, what is the meaning of this? I notice the king is not the head of the table as usual. Everyone sits on the table's side, except for Mythos, who's at the far end. The king's seat, however, is clear. I simply brought back the crown princess. You should be thanking me, Gennaro. I reunited you with your daughter. My daughter? The king raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. I can see in his eyes that he is loath to trust anything Mythos has to say. The king slumps in his chair as Varg leads me to a seat just beside Rod. I notice Emmeline sitting just to Rod's side. She forces a smile onto her face, but I can see tears gathering in her eyes. Allow me to offer a more formal introduction for our guest, even though you all know her. Her name is Cinderella Breton, and she is the crown princess of Angel. And your blood daughter, Gennaro. The king looks at me again. This time there's more uncertainty in his gaze. Prince Rod will tell you, won't he? Rod? Rod looks at me, his gaze quiet but expectant. I turn to the king and to the rest of my staff family. Hey everybody, nice to meet you. A weird thing to say, considering we're like in a weird hostage situation. Being forced to have dinner together like a happy family? I don't know. Yeah. This is my chance to prove to them that I am the princess. The king never believed me before, but here I can convince them. I don't know if that's your priority right now, I don't know. I am indeed the crown princess, Cinderella Breton. I told you before, your majesty, but I was cursed and you do not believe me. Now no one remembers who I am. I will remember my own daughter. I flinch. A pained look comes into the king's face as he stares at me. Okay, that didn't really work. Feels like a cat or a snake taunts his victims before killing them off, yeah? Yeah, something like that. You know, that actually kind of reminds me, you know, another animal that kind of plays with their victims before murdering them is actually the bear, as it turns out. I've learned that from a manga, something called Golden Kamuy. I think there's an anime too. Pretty gruesome scene where like a bear actually just, you know, murders someone, and as it turns out, a thing they often do is actually play with the corpse as they kill them. So yeah, bears as well. Bears are really cruel creatures when it comes to murder. They like to play with their food. Anyway, it just reminds me of that. Yeah, it is messed up. Turns out the animal kingdom is pretty hardcore. Mythos is smiling slyly at the end of the table, looking pleased by the further confusion I've caused. Is his purpose only to confuse everyone further? What kind of mind games is he playing? Mind games, I don't know. Gennaro, she's undoubtedly your daughter. That is why she's in the room that you've been taking care of. What? The king's eyes widen. He looks at a loss for words. Princess, the king has been keeping your room clean and tidy for the sake of nostalgia. He has no idea why. Magic works in interesting ways, doesn't it? I was wondering why my room was unchanged, but could it be that the king remembers me somehow? I look up at him, but he's already glanced away from me, his expression a complicated twist of confusion and helplessness. It seems that even the king does not fully understand. I turn to Mythos. It can work in both good and bad ways. Ah, yes. The fairytale curse is terrible, isn't it? I catch Varg's eyes from the side of the room. He glances away from me, and I follow his gaze to the corners of the room. I hadn't noticed them before, but now I see cloaked figures hiding in the shadows. Witches. They must be the ones holding everyone in place if they try to escape. But not all magic is terrible, like the magic we will use to revive the queen.
You are insane! Idira is mad! You have no right to refer to her by name.
A sudden chill envelops the room. I can feel actual icicles on the table. I pull my hands away. Now, we are going to eat dinner, and we're going to enjoy it. Okay. Remember when Varg was like circling his finger around his head? Crazy! And every day will be just like this until the queen returns. Varg glares across the table at Mithros. Why? Why would we not enjoy dinners together? That's not what I meant. Why go through this charade day after day? I stare across the table at Mithros glaring. I already told you before. I had to clear this place of traitors. Allcaster planned on stealing the crown and I stole it back. But because of the time the Queen's revival is so close, I have decided to keep the crown with me until I can return it to its appropriate owner. Queen Hidir is the true owner of the crown. I thought it best that we all wait for her arrival together. But know this, when my queen demands it, I will kill all of you. I simply refuse to act without her orders. This time, the guards come to the room with food. They set it before us and we're forced to eat beneath Mithros' watchful gaze. He really is like very yandere, you know, he's very obsessed with the queen. And also revival. I mean, I guess what he said was true, because I was thinking, like, there's another person that has, like, healing magic, right? With the Witch Doctor? I was wondering, like, can a Witch Doctor revive people? Maybe not. Maybe he's like, you know, again, he said that Lucette would have power to, you know, just summon her, because she's technically not dead. She's still, I guess, in the crystal or something? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Though I try to spot an opening in the dining table, or dining hall, rather, I can find no way out. This really is a prison. 2 days pass. I have been searching for ways out and trying to ease out more answers out of Varg and Mithros. Neither of them is very forthcoming. We just keep doing this over and over, I guess. Both enjoying speaking in riddles. Varg especially is an enigma. Whenever I try to ask him about Fritz, he smirks at me and remains silent. Smirk? What? Not going to try asking me any questions tonight? I'm not getting any answers from Varg. It is almost my birthday. I need to find a way out of here. I'm disappointed. You're the only fun I have in here, princess. Maybe if I'm quiet, he'll leave me alone. If you're just gonna be quiet and sulk, I guess I should be going. Remember, don't try anything funny. There are nights just outside your door. Varg bows mockingly. He leans down to pat me on the head before he turns and leaves. Pat me on the why head pat. I cannot give up. I once again begin my search for the room. Time is running out, and there's nothing I can do besides search for a way out. But I know that if I leave the room, the knights will catch me immediately. If I had a weapon, I might stand a chance. I put my fingers to my neck and remember what Chevalier told me about. Sleep. No, sleep? I assume Delora, is that you? The sound comes from outside my door. It is a woman's voice. The door is open and suddenly Chevalier and Delora are both in my room. Princess! I'm startled to see Chevalier standing before me, his eyebrows drawn over his eyes with great worry, and beside him stands Delora with her arms crossed. Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? We're here to stage a daring rescue! I rush to Chevalier and wrap my arms around him. He puts a hand on the small of my back and smiles down at me. We're going to get you out of here, princess. How did you both get in here? With the power of magic. Okay. But dramatic even at a time like this. The two exchange a look before looking at me seriously. Parfait, Waltz, the knights, and Karma are all here. We thought we'd just be fighting witches, though. We weren't expecting the knights. No matter what we said, we couldn't get through to them. They're under a spell. Mythos. He wants to release Mother. Both of them look at me with confusion. What? Mother is still alive, just inside the Tenebrarum. Mythos wants to bring her back. That is impossible. The Queen is still alive? Chevalier looks worried while Dolores' expression is more rigid and resolute. We cannot let that happen. I don't know how the Queen will be alive in the first place, but... well, we'll worry about that later. Right, we have time to later discuss the specifics of everything, but right now we need to get out of here. Right, everyone is keeping the guards and the witches busy for you, Princess. I'll distract Mythos. Chevalier, I'm counting on you to get the Princess to safety. That's why I'm here. Princess, can you guide me through the palace? I cannot just leave everyone here. Don't worry, Garland is seeing to save your family. No, I cannot just leave everyone in the Martian here to do things for me. Lucette, we cannot afford to lose you. His name? The only one who feels like the name Chevalier doesn't fit the character that much? Too sophisticated for him? I don't know. I mean, actually, to me, yeah, it is a pretty weird name. Only because Chevalier, to me, as far as I know, unless I'm totally wrong, I think it's like more like a title, right? It's not like a name to me, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it makes sense for him because, like, you know, Chevalier, again, it's like a knight, right? So it's like he's like a knight in shining armor, I guess. Ironically, even though he doesn't have any like knightly background or anything, he doesn't have a sword, he can't do magic or anything. He's just like a doctor, but he's like still like a knight in shining armor, I guess. But metaphorically, I guess it makes sense in the sense that he's always so dramatic and everything. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Well, let's say we can't afford to lose you. I told you I would do anything to protect you, and I will. The sooner you're safe, the sooner we'll have the advantage. You are the legitimate heir to the throne and the next Tenebrarum bearer. You cannot let yourself remain in Mythos' hand. The situation is the most dire, so for now, we must hurry. I nod my head feebly. Without another word, the three of us head toward the door. Laura exits first and stops immediately. I almost run into her. I glance through the doorway and see Varg waiting just outside, holding a blade across Dolores' neck. Ah yes, the best way to kill someone, the neck, as we've learned. Dolores holds her hand and deflects the sword as it slides harmlessly past her neck. Okay, she's too powerful for that, you can't just do that. Varg slides away, still holding out his sword. His usual smirk is half-hearted at best. Get out of our way. You're awfully demanding, aren't you? Pretty please? No can do, my lady. Shame. Looks like I have to destroy that pretty mask of yours, along with everything else underneath. Oh, damn. And then he dies. No? Dolores holds up her hand and summons a wall of electric orbs. With a flick of her wrist, she sends them rushing toward Varg, who dodges them with surprising speed. It's very, very high dexterity, I guess. Varg's movement appears sluggish, but I have seen his fast reflexes. He's playing with Dolores, even though I do not think he has the advantage. He drops the sword, and for a few moments I feel Dolores has the advantage. Suddenly he raises the cane he usually holds at his sides and taps it on the ground. Oh. Oh yeah, he did this before. At least in a different route. A burst of smoke escapes from the bottom of it, shrouding the room. An enchanted cane? You're not the only one with tricks up your sleeve. Laura. Chevalier, get her out of here. Let's go, Princess. Chevalier takes my hand in his and begins to lead me away. I turn to glance back at Dolores and Varg and realize that while Dolores is completely on the offensive, Varg does nothing but dodge. Just dodge, apparently. It's as if he's trying to buy time for something. I banish the thought from my head as Chevalier pulls me down the hall. How rude. Haven't you heard of chivalry? Nah, zombie knight. I spot Karma, still in his dress, holding a sword out at the man in front of him. When the man lunges, Karma dodges back and grunts as his back comes to one. This time he's not like a weird beast thing, I guess, because he didn't fall in love with anyone. Oh, I suppose chivalry is dead then. He steps off to the side as the possessed knight attacks him with his blade. The sword catches his dress but does not hinder him from stepping forward and aiming a jab with his sword beneath the knight's armor. Does he have armor? I mean, sort of. It looks like cloth. I don't know, maybe he has chainmail underneath, I don't know. The knight knee keels, but the sword does not fall from his hand. Karma looks up at us sharply. What are you doing just standing there? Move! Ah! It takes me a moment to realize that just as I was frozen, so too was Chevalier. His face is pale as he grabs my hand again, and once again starts rushing me down the other end of the hall. Chevalier's steps are wider than mine, and I have to struggle to keep up. But the further we go down the hallway, the more apparent it becomes that there are too many obstacles in the way. We pass Jury and Darling as we move too, and then manage to clear a path for us. These knights, will they not stop moving until Mythos is defeated? I hope the king and everyone else is safe. As we pass Julian and Garland, I tell them where the royal family is, but I have no way of knowing if the words reach their ears amidst all of the sound. Chevalier? So the stab wounds in the armor that I saw earlier from the knights themselves, but why would they battle each other? What? The punctures in the armor that we saw in the clinic, the stab wounds in the gut and the arms. Chevalier's eyes are so distant, as if he's looking right through me. We need to keep moving. I take his hands and lean him forward. What is he talking about? I'm thinking like my first thought is like maybe they were supposed to die or something, or become zombies. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about, but we can talk about this later. Right now, we have to escape. We are close to the palace entrance when we see them. A group of knights stand in two lines on both sides of the hall, facing each other. At the far end of the hallway stands a gaggle of witches, and in between them, Mythos. A gaggle of witches, is that the proper term? Or like a gathering of witches? Gaggle. Good evening. Did you enjoy your stroll around the palace? Chevalier immediately moves to stand in front of me. The cloudiness is gone from his eyes. But what leaves his mouth is not a demand, but a question. How could you do this? How? Oh, it was quite easy, actually. You know what I mean. Why would you make the knights fight one another? What a foolish question. Obviously, because they are inconsequential. On the stage, some pawns exist as easily replaceable extras. I am interested in keeping only the actors, the main characters with eyes, all the other characters with no eyes, They're just generic people, so they can just die, doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, the extras are needed. In fact, I can make them do whatever I need in order to get the best outcome. He snaps his fingers and the knights raise their swords. I tense, thinking the knights are going to turn to us, but they never do. Here's an interlude for you to enjoy. The knights are attacking each other, and the sound of metal ringing against metal fills the air. The knight's sword, arch, dive, and stab. Mythos watches from behind them, a sly smile never leaving his lips. The two of us can only stand there, stunned into silence. It isn't long before we can see red. Oh no. Wait. The smell of blood begins to linger in the air as swords cut through flesh. Abruptly, I snap to my senses. I attempt to move forward, but Chevalier remains firmly grounded. Chevalier! I heard many things about the doctor working at the clinics. I heard that he was a volunteer who had assisted in helping the injured during the Great War. I also heard, until just recently, he had been cursed. I knew immediately upon seeing you that you were that volunteer. I suppose it is unavoidable that you and the princess know each other, but to think you'll be so close. Chevalier just stares blankly ahead. He looks almost like he's under a spell. His eyes are glazed. I continue to call his name. His eyes follow the sword movements of the knights, and does not even spare me a glance. Have I unraveled the doctor? Unraveled, I guess. That's a V, I guess. It looks like a B, but it's a V. I assume, since we got so much points with him, this chapter is actually the good end. Assuming that, unless I'm wrong, I might be wrong. I actually want to go back a little bit, because I want to see the bad end before I see the good ends, right? And I feel like we're getting the good end because I've accidentally got so many choices that are actually good, as it turns out. But actually, yeah, let's just take, a quick interlude, as Mythos said, and try to get a bad end this time. before we move on. I'm not gonna get the good end? Can you confirm that? I mean, if not, I don't know. Because it seems like I got so many, like, right choices. Like 90% of the time. Oh, I guess assuming this is the bad end, alright. I assume so. Because I want to see the bad end before I see the good end, actually. So, let's see. Chevalier, snap out of it. Just look at all these men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That's why you sought help from a witch. Okay. You know, when you think about it, man, I don't know, let's see, I guess. Because I'm thinking, like, unraveled. I assume maybe that's bad? I don't know. Mythos' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that's different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. A sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier, and I realize the magic is already working its way into him. He does not see anyone except for Mythos, who's still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I slowly inch backwards, making a show of looking at Chevalier. Neither Mythos nor Chevalier seem to see me. I will protect you, Chevalier. I will do whatever it takes, even if I have to kill someone. I pluck the sword from the ground and grasp it at the hilt. It feels heavy in my hand, but I ignore the weight. I rush down the hallway with the sword, weaving my way to the side so I'm out of the way of the knights fighting each other. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be a good idea, considering we have no swordsmanship practice. You know, before in the Cloud Realm, at least we know a little bit about, you know, swinging a sword, but this time we have no idea. I look squarely at Mythos, and then suddenly Chivalier's eyes flicker to me, only momentarily, but enough for me to know that he's no longer looking at Mythos in the daze. I turn back and see Chevalier rubbing his hand across his eyes. Mythos snaps his fingers and two of the fighting knights turn and rush toward me. Knights manage to back me into the corner of the wall. I hold the blade out as they bear down on me and close my eyes. My hands shake on the hilt, but I stand resolute, ready for the blow. But it's not come. Moments before the knights raise their swords, I'm aware of the breath of my cheek and beautiful violet eyes staring into my own. Is it Rumpel, or at least Chevalier, I guess. Chevalier? Who's set? Bleh. Okay. The word ends in a gasp as a blade is buried deep into Chevalier's chest. But didn't you say it wouldn't be as, you know, it wouldn't be as lethal, considering there's ribs in the way? I don't know. Isn't the neck the best way to... I don't know. His words fade as his hands slide down either side of me. He slumps and his head falls to my shoulders. Or maybe he is dying. Alright. Okay, it really is the bad end. No! A raw sound echoes my throat as I feel warmth leave Chevalier's body. Chevalier! I scream his name and he looks up. His eyes do not see me. They're somewhere far away. Mythos pulls Chevalier's body to the ground, where it falls with a terrible thud. You know what? I thought I had so many good points for him, but apparently that didn't work out. I guess, oh well. Inconsequential. I am deaf to Mythos' words. I slump down beside Chevalier, my hands reaching for his. His eyes are still open, but light of them is gone. No. Tears stream down my face. I cannot breathe. I cannot hear my heart. Everything is quiet and dark. Chevalier! Now that the obstacle is gone, you have nothing left, princess. Not affected by this bad end, huh? I guess not a lot of sympathy for Chevalier. I don't know. It's like, he's fine, I guess. You know, I didn't like him in the beginning, but yeah, he's fine. Mythos' hand reached for me. I attempt to lift the sword, but he knocks it easily out of my hands. Are you truly the queen's daughter? The queen never cried. She was the strongest woman I knew. I cannot breathe and I cannot stifle the sobs escaping my throat. She taught me that sentimentality was nothing to value, that it will only make you weak. I assumed you knew that too, princess. But I was wrong. It will be a good thing when the queen is back on the throne. The weak do not win. He snaps his fingers and the witches congregate around me. Now we shall use you to bake the fairy, then everyone else will fall. I will unravel this effort at his heart. He nudges Chevalier's body. I look down at Chevalier's ashen face and sob. I let the tears gather in my eyes until I cannot see anything. Nothing matters anymore. Interesting, yeah, interesting that in this battle, because his curse was already been lifted earlier on. Oh, look, it's the thread needles. He doesn't die because of his curse. Rod, in battle he dies because of the curse. Claude, indirectly dies because of the curse. But this time, there's actually, he just dies normal, like he just gets stabbed normally, without really nothing like related to his curse at all. He's just, tried to save Lucette and then he just dies. Huh. But anyway, okay, so I really thought I would get the good end from the first place, but I guess not. It was just me, I guess, overestimating, my choices. Alright, but since we're here though, let's try to get the other ending. Let's do that. Okay. Where's the camera? I guess, yeah, when I said like, hey, by the way, I'm the queen, or rather the princess, and no one believes us, I guess we'll just feign ignorance. Hey everyone, nice to meet you. Now there's no point in trying to convince the king of my birthright here and now. I would only confuse him more, and now is not the time or place. I glance at Mythos, who is smiling at me expectantly. Besides, Mythos must have a reason for insisting on my birthright right now. Most likely he just means to confuse the king more. If that's the case, I will not play into such a petty scheme. My name is Lucette. Thank you for your kindness at one time. Ra looks shocked. I scowl at him before turning to look at Mythos. Mythos' smile has twisted into a frown. I feel proud in seeing him caught off guard. Lucette, what are you doing in here? Gennaro. It's not your daughter and everything, but we don't play into his hands or whatever. Kind of like a small thing, yet that causes a bad end, I guess. Oh, not like Mother. Okay, alright, so we're at the good end now. We're on the true path this time. As he's being like, I guess, being in a trance from Mythos' like a little magic show of like people stabbing each other. This time, hopefully, he doesn't get killed. Alright. Chevalier, don't listen to him. Don't do it. Just look at all those men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. That's why you sought help from a witch. Wish. Mythos' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that's different from normal. The knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. He's not seeing anyone except for Mythos, who's still smiling at him from behind all of the knights. I glance at the sword, remembering what Chevalier taught me. Mythos is unguarded right now, but I have better judgment than that, and I told Chevalier that I was going to steer clear of the burden of taking someone's life. I have a promise to keep. Okay, so we're not going to do that this time. I guess we're not going to do the dumb thing. I gaze up at Chevalier and realize that this is how he looked every time he regained a memory, like he was stuck in his own mind. There's only one thing I can think of to get him out of his trance. I clench my hand into a fist and then I punch him in the face. Yes! I knew it! Ow! God's my face! Impossible. You can't just break my super powerful spell by just punching him in the face. That's crazy. Chevalier's eyes clear when he looks at me. I can tell he's distraught, but his eyes are seeing the present. Sorry, I thought I lost you. Oh, I suppose I needed that, didn't I? Chevalier smiles sheepishly. It is fleeting and gone by the time we both turn to Mythos again. Chevalier looks straight past the still fighting knights. If this bothers Chevalier, which it must, he hides it beneath a neutral expression. How did you break my spell? You cannot even use my magic. You see, we used the power of fists. You didn't break it with magic, she broke it with the power of love. No, I'm pretty sure it was my knuckles, colliding with your cheeks. Anyway, I stare at him skeptically. We both know that's not true, and I know Chevalier well enough to know that he's not mean that. But Mythos looks furious.
Love. As if some fairy tale love could save you from this predicament. Princess, you're a witch. We feed off negativity, off of chaos and loathing. Love serves us no power. Life is all about balance. Lucette taught me that. And though I might not be able to uphold the balance of negatives and positives myself, I'm at least going to try. You could try to do the same. Maybe look beyond your depressing life and start reaching for something that gives you happiness. Something that won't plummet you back into the same darkness. Mythos snaps his fingers and lights all freeze. Then they turn to us, swords raised. I do not need to be lectured by some lovesick fool. By all means, cling to your love. I will show you how fragile it is. Witches do not need love. Mythos holds out his hands, and the knights begin their steady, deadly march toward us. Chevalier takes my hand and pulls me back. But I see an opening in the narrative. Mythos enjoys inflicting pain with his words. And I can do the same. We're gonna have like a word battle, rap battle. If you do not need love, if you do not need affection, then why are you doing all this for Mother? I'm not. You are doing it to be recognized. Why? Every student wants to impress their teacher. His words are calm, but there's a desperation in them. Mother was Mythos' teacher. I had thought he was just reliving her, or reviving her as another witch, but... You know Mythos? It was a long time ago, we both shared a sham teacher. Teacher? Sensei? Nani? Wait, are you a witch? Yes. Witch. Waltz was Mother's student. No, I cannot think about that now. We'll explore that on a different route. But I can still use this to my advantage. I do not remember Mother's student in the least, but one of them turned out right. The other did not, and I can see the bitterness in you. It's the same bitterness I held, only yours goes deeper. You will not sway me with your foolish words. The knights begin to rush us. Their run is more of a pathetic shuffle given the harmed state that they're in, but this does not slow them down. We're going to run, but trust me, Princess, I will protect you no matter what it happens. He grabs my hand and we wait. I can see Chevalier's eyes darting around as he searches for an opening. I can feel the pulse of his quickened heartbeat through his hand, and I know he's panicking. Oh, magic? What kind of magic is that? Suddenly, there's a massive luminescent gold wall in front of us. The knights stumble right into it, their swords hitting the bright barrier. Oh, it's Parfait. Oh, Parfait didn't come on. Like, she didn't come with us, you know, the last two times, I guess. Or, well, I don't know, in the Rod route... Yeah, in the Rod route, like, the Laura came and saved us. And the Cloud route, you know, Laura and the knights and everyone, but not Parfait. Parfait never came before. Interesting. Are you two okay? Parfait rushes to stand in front of us. Mythos' expression is a cold, angry glare. He measures the situation with critical eyes, and then he turns away and begins to dart down the hall. Parfait collapses to one knee, arms still outstretched to maintain the barrier. Laura appears. She's flustered and bleeding on one arm, but she still stands straight. I guess that battle with Varg injured her. Laura holds up her hand and summons fire. Finally, some fireballs. Fire! Put down the shield, Parfait. I have this. Parfait releases the shield, and a magic projectile shoot out of the knights. To edge the knights back through the hallway, but I can see Parfait growing weaker and weaker by the moment. Parfait takes a deep shouting breath as she tries to stand. When she falls yet again, Chevalier takes a step forward and looks at her urgently. Lady Parfait. I'm fine. Don't fuss. The breathing is labored, but she still manages to smile. I fought in the Great War. This is nothing. She looks at me and Chevalier. You two need to leave. But you're... Fine. I just need to gather my energy. A spell from Dolora sends the knights sprawling to the ground after she creates a heavy downpour of rain that quickly turns into ice. You two keep going, the entrance is clear. I notice the witches have been standing behind Mythos Notice the witches that have been standing behind Mythos approach us now. Dolores stands at the ready. Oh yeah, the other generic witches, right? We never see. I guess they're just off screen. I can tell that she's hiding a great amount of stress behind her smirk. Her face slowly gets to her feet. We fight together, Dolores. There's no one I'd rather have fighting by my side. Faye. Oh, Faye. Parfait. Faye. When we think about it, Faye, you know, Faye as in like the species of fairies, I guess? The Fae creatures? Interesting. Oh, come on, princess. We still have an opening. We head around the side. Parfait erects a shield to protect us from any magic that comes our way, and Dolores summons a whirlwind as a distraction. Ow! My foot is grazed by fire magic, causing me to stumble, but I force myself into a limping sprint regardless. This is nothing. At the entrance, I pause in the middle of the room. The main entrance hall is eerily silent. And then I see Mythos edging his way into the king's throne room. He is holding tight to Emmeline. He notices me watching and smiles. Oh no. Oh no. He disappears in the throne room. He's getting a hostage, I guess. We have to follow him. Princess, he has Emmeline. Chevalier's posture and expression are indecisive, but mine are not. I know Mythos is baiting me, but I cannot leave her alone. My gaze moves around the hallway as I search for other knights. The place is empty, but it's not long before we hear footsteps. I tense at the sound, and Chevalier holds tightly to my hand. Then suddenly, as the figure draws nearer, I recognize him, even if he seems a completely different, older person. Oh, hey! Hey, you're an adult. How'd that happen? Did you break your curse? Huh. I finally found you. Waltz? You broke your curse, but how? Chevalier stares at it all. Now I know, W. Waltz the big. There was never a Waltz the small. Waltz shakes his head. And I broke my curse unexpectedly. I actually found the item I needed while I was searching around. But I can explain more later. For now, we have to go after Mythos. You know where he is? He's in the throne room. Okay, I guess he's a full magic user now, so I guess we can... Because we're wondering, you know, why were we going to the throne room with Mythos? How are we gonna fight him? But hey, Waltz is here, so he'll help us, I guess. Mythos stands in the middle of an empty throne room, holding Emmeline to him. He has his hands around her neck. No sudden moves, you three, or this girl dies. And I do know how much death bothers you. With a start, I realize he's talking to Waltz. All the three of us are frozen. Myth. Traitor. Why can't you see that Hidir wasn't trying to teach us? She was just trying to corrupt us. Silence, traitor. You betrayed her. During the war, you betrayed our own teacher. Betrayed. Hidir was corrupted. She cannot be saved. How dare you use her name? Mythos's fingers tighten on Emmeline's throat. I can see the tears running down her face. Her sobbing is quiet, but still it reaches my ears in the silent room. Varg. Varg appears from the darkness, as he did before. He smiles at all of us from behind Mythos, eyes glinting mischievously. You didn't finish the job. You were awfully vague when you told me to take care of them. You know, most people would assume that meant entertaining them or offering them refreshments. Obey me. Varg turns to us. He draws the sword he used earlier, his smile fading. I think I see something like pain in his eyes, but I think it might be my imagination. He looks stoic as he moves toward us. Okay, I guess Varg doesn't have no choice but to obey him. When Waltz moves Mythos' hands, when Waltz moves, Mythos' hands tighten over Emmeline's neck and she cries out. Chevalier is watching everything quietly. The concern in his eyes is muted by the urgency. I follow his gaze around the room, wondering what he's searching for. Myth, is it? You were injured in the Great War. I tended to you once. Stabbed in stomach. You needed stitches for it. I feel Mythos' confusion before I see it. For just a few moments though, his gaze is centered on Chevalier, his eyes probing him for information. No one came for you. Your teacher must have thought you were too weak, that you would die. Mythos' hand fly away from Emmeline's neck as he lunges towards Chevalier with a snarl, his expression mad. Okay, this is new lore. Apparently, the room breaks out into chaos then. I feel the rise of magic beside me as Walt's ready as a spell, the tension in the Chevalier's body as it prepares to shield me, and lastly I see Varg zip across the room. Everything goes white. Okay, what happened? What happened? When I look up, I see Walt standing in front of me with a shield. Mythos' hand lies flat against the shield and can feel the heat of his magic. Varg lies on the ground beside his fallen sword, unconscious from the impact of magic. Okay, he was taken care of, I guess. Even Chevalier is on his knees. I rush toward the sword at the same moment, Waltz pushes Mythos back onto the ground. Then, sword in hand, I stand above Mythos and aim at his neck. The blade touches his skin without sinking into it, and then I decapitate him. Emmeline is hiding behind the throne, staring at the scene with shock on her tear-stained face. Will you kill me? Mythos' smile is a mere shadow of itself. You saw in the shadows today, or you saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. You see the hollow look in their eyes. And the look many times is the look of a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious. Whether or not they're a bad guy, you gotta not kill them. Don't kill them. And unless you're an anti-hero, then it's fine. That desperation in Mythos' eyes now, a man that clings to life. It's so easy to slice his throat, just slice his throat. No. I've seen so much bloodshed this night, and it was all caused by Mythos. If I can kill him, I can stop all of it. But that would make me no better than Mother. I drop the sword. Mythos actually stops to stare at me in shock. I am not like Mother. I'm not to kill you for revenge. I will not kill you for revenge. No sooner have I said the words that I feel a sudden heat at my chest. My hand instinctively reaches up to grab the necklace around my neck. And then there's a bright light. Oh, is that a good deed apparently? Not killing someone is a good deed? I guess so. When the light clears, a new source of light catches my eyes. And we have the glass slippers. Amazing. I wonder what happens to the glass slippers, because we, by magic, we just get the glass slippers, but what do we do with it? We just put it in the attic for nostalgia's sake, or do we sell it? Do we give it to someone else? I don't know. Kinda don't need it. After we broke our curse, I stop to stare down at my feet, which are in the glass slippers that shine so brightly they sparkle even in the dim light. I have no time to admire the shoes, or the weight that has fallen off my shoulders. I barely recognize that the fairy tale curse has been broken. Emmeline rises from behind the throne and screams, "Ah! Lucette, watch out!" Mythos has grabbed the sword with his hand, turned it around and is aiming it at my chest. Hits a barrier. Her face stands beside me once more, her face devoid of any color. I did not see her rush in here. She takes a step forward as if to shield me. Out of my way! Mythos draws the sword back and plunges it again at the shield. This time the blade is coated with darkness. He buffed it, with dark magic apparently. It pierces the already flimsy shield. And the blade goes through Parfai's heart. What? Nani? Parfait dies. Well, Parfait. Parfait grabs the blade and narrows her eyes at Mythos. I'm sorry her dear did not appreciate you. Something swells inside of me as I stare at Parfait. The sword is impaled in her. I can see her eyes go glassy. I cannot speak, cannot breathe. Waltz rushes forward with his magic and pins Mythos forcefully to the ground. He raises his hand but never comes down in time. A sword strikes past his shoulder, right at Mythos' neck. When I turn, it is Chevalier that is holding it. His body shakes as tears run down his cheeks. Mythos holds his neck as Chevalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. Does everyone... It's like a conga line. Everyone just really wants to, kill Mythos. But, no one actually kills him, I guess. I don't know. Or did he? I don't know. Did he actually kill him? I don't know. Magic falls on the ground, reaches hand, but never comes down in time. Sword strikes past his shoulder right at Mythos' neck. Oh, no, okay, I misinterpreted. I assume Waltz also tried to kill him, but I guess not. Waltz just he just pinned him down. like a wrestler, and Chevalier was the one who tried to like almost kill him. Right? Okay. I guess I got confused there. So again, it's like us, you know, we try to kill it, we're like, man, no, never mind, we didn't kill you. And then Chevalier does the same thing, it's like, I'm gonna freaking kill you, but maybe not, you know? Or, oops, I think, unless I'm gonna read the log a little bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what happened, okay. Out of the corner of my eyes, I catch a movement that can only be Varg, but I do not care. Lady Parfait, do not move, we can take the sword, we can... But I see a hopelessness in Chevalier's expression, and I know that whatever wound Parfait took was lethal. I can see it in his eyes. I can see it in Parfait's. There's no need to fuss. When Parfait falls, Waltz grabs her and puts his hand to the hilt of the sword. Chevalier crumples beside her. He stares the blood staining her dress with sorrow. I start to cry. Lucette, do not regret this. I am proud of you. The room is quiet. Even with the newcomers that arrived, the knights and Karma watch the scene from the sidelines, all with grim looks on their faces. Last to arrive is Delora, who sits down beside Parfait with her lips pulled into an uptight frown. Her face is stern. I can tell it is a mask. Parfait. That look doesn't suit you, Delora. I told you to stay back. Had I not been here in time, the princess would have... Her words fall apart as she begins to cough. I'm dying. I'm dying. Delora leans over her and shakes her head. Sorry I didn't come sooner. Everything is as it should be, Delora. Parfait cranes her neck to look up at me. Wipe away your tears, Lucette. What you did was a good deed. You spared a man's life. Does that count? I guess it does. I don't know if it counts. Is it really a good deed? I don't know. Anyway. It's like not doing something is a good deed, apparently. But life is not a fairy tale. Humans are good and bad. No, it isn't. But the fear of death makes a life even more valuable. Do not worry, princess. I chose this. Her face smiles. It is mystifying to see her smile when her body is slowly crumbling away in Waltz's grasp. Parfait's body is what gives out first. Her eyes go next. They remain focused on me, still smiling. The body begins to glow as her body slowly fades away. She gets snapped. You know, just like Raw, she gets Thanos snapped. Whoosh. Is that... Well, I mean, for one, obviously Parfait dying is really bad. She's always been a good person. She doesn't deserve to die. But also, what about the next Lucis Bearer? Who's gonna be the next Lucis Bearer? Anyone worried about that? Because if we don't keep balance of the crystals, everything's gonna go into chaos. So, I don't think Parfait had an heir. So, I don't know. Oh well. Parfait. Laura turns away. Even if she's not shedding any tears, it is clear that she is heartbroken. She closes her eyes and releases a shaky sigh. Sweet dreams, my friend. I do not know how long we all stay in that room, mourning the loss of Parfait, or basically our fairy mother, you know. Well, I mean, we think about like fairy godmother, you know, that sort of thing. But basically everyone's mother. You know, everyone's mother at the Martian anyway. Karma, Julian, and Garland eventually spread out to search for any remaining danger. At some point, they returned with the king and the rest of the family. My reunion with my family is half-hearted. I do not know what to say to the people that I hated only months ago. Despite the quiet, they all take me in with open arms. The king stays by my side long after the others have left. Karma and the knights return to the Martian, though others the news. Waltz goes to search the palace for any remaining resistance. Only Delora, Chevalier, the king, and I remain. Chevalier cries. I have not seen him cry before, but his heartbreak is my own. What happened was a nightmare, but eventually ended. Last night, Varg escaped the throne room. No one saw where he disappeared to in all the chaos. I am beginning to believe that his faint was a trick. Since the night had left everyone so tired, we were offered rooms in the palace. So, well, I mean, I guess Fritz didn't die this time, but I guess, well, Parfait died this time. It seems like everyone has to die every time, I don't know. Except in Rosra. I don't know. In Rosra, who died in Rosra? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. I guess, I mean, I remember, like, Mythos, he, like, I mean, obviously, Allcaster, like, he went to prison, and then Mythos was turned into ice? I don't know if that counts as dying. I don't know. Well, anyway, after going to the palace, I came to my room with Chevalier, where the two of us attempted to comfort each other with words. Chevalier was especially shaken. Being the one to kill Mythos, he was in tears for a long time. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Did I not catch that? Okay, maybe he did kill him. Okay, I did not really understand it. Yeah, maybe I'm just dumb. Okay, so I did not understand that because I'm an idiot. So Chevalier did kill him. I thought he, like, threw the sword beside him and didn't actually kill him, but Chevalier did kill him. You know, ironic. He's a bit of a hypocrite. He told us not to kill anyone, and yet he did. I don't know. Yeah. Mythos holds his neck as Chevalier holds up the blade and throws it behind him. I don't know, the sword trick past his shoulder right at Mythos' neck. I thought that meant like past his shoulder, as in it did not hit his neck, but it did directly on his neck. Oh, I didn't know. Anyway, guess I'm just bad at reading comprehension. Okay, so what happens that we spare his life, but then he tried to kill us. We were saved by Parfait, Parfait died, and so Chevalier came with the sword in revenge. All for revenge. To kill Mythos as Waltz held him down, right? Whatever. Okay. I guess, I don't know, I guess they didn't really, like, describe it, you know, made it too obvious for me, for someone like me to understand. Me with, like, 2 IQ. I wish they could have added one more line, you know, they could have, like, I don't know, said, like, oh, blood splurts out of Mythos' neck as he lies dead, but I guess it doesn't matter. Oh well. Being the one to kill Mythos, he was in tears for a long time. I'm pretty sure that I must have fallen asleep sometime when we were talking, but I am lying in my bed, and underneath my covers, and though I think for a few moments that it must be a figment of my imagination, it is not. We sleep together, amazing. Chevalier is definitely lying right next to me, sleeping beneath those same covers. What did you do last night? Do you remember? How did this happen? I put off the recollection of the previous day to stare at Chevalier's face. His glasses are off, and without them, his face seems strangely empty. Yeah, you know, when you're used to seeing someone with glasses a lot, then when you see him without glasses, it's weird because you're just so used to it. Huh? He looks vulnerable, almost like a child, except his features are too handsome for that. What am I thinking? I slowly put my hand to his cheek and flinch when his eyebrows crease. Moments later, his eyes open. They are foggy this early in the morning. What is this? Have I been woken by my princess? Usually it's the princes that wake up their princesses. I was always wondering how he manages to keep smiling like that. Even when he's in pain, he forces a smile. But you are no prince. I'm not some damsel princess. Chevalier closes his eyes again and sighs. There's only one way to break the spell of sleep. I flush as his lips curl into a mysterious smile, still his eyes do not open. I think about what happened last night, Parfait and Mythos' death, Varg's escape, and everyone else's heartbreak. Before I have to relieve the burden, I can afford to lose myself in some happiness. I lean forward to kiss his smile. Schmooch! I break away from Chevalier, startled. What are you doing, you two? A princess? How distressing. Waltz the Big ruins everything. Waltz the Big. I quickly slip out of bed and Chevalier sits up and puts on his glasses with a yawn. Well, good morning, princess, and... His eyes widen when he sees Chevalier. Are you so tired that the words have abandoned you, Waltz? No, I wanted to see if the princess was doing okay. If you were both alright, actually. He pauses to look at us, his eyebrows furrowed in thought. Though I can imagine just how tongue-tied you must be, you should speak if you have something to say. Waltz sighs. I didn't want to bring this up so soon, but it's been on my mind the whole night. It's just... You didn't have to kill Myth. That was my job. Your job. I dealt that. Besides, I didn't want to kill him, it was... a reaction. The room goes silent for a few moments as Chevalier stares down at the floor. He told me before that lives are valuable and yet he killed someone, so it's kind of like hypocrite. Oh well. That's why I tried to save Mythos, but in the end, my sparing his life forced Chevalier to carry the burden of his death. He's already told me that it's not my fault. Parfait said that what I did was a good deed, but still. Killing Mythos saved us more casualties. I hope I can convince Chevalier of that. Most likely, he will wrestle with that gift for a long time. You know, it's kind of weird, I don't know. It's kind of like, the moral of the story, don't kill the bad guy, but yet, killing the bad guy is a good thing. I don't... What are you trying to tell me? I don't know. Like, I guess it's just a loophole, it's fine, I don't know. I turn my attention back to Waltz, and will the questions back in my mind for the time being. Waltz, there are questions I need to ask you. About how he broke his curse, about Mother being his teacher, about Mythos. There's so much to ask him, I do not even know where to start. Oh, we have plenty of time for explanations now, Princess. After all, after your birthday, Delora and I will pick up your magic education, but for now you should rest. I'll give you the full story of my apprenticeship and curse another day, in a different timeline. The Princess, Chevalier. I just thought I'd let you know that when Parfait came into this battle, she expected to die. She told all of us that while we were sitting around trying to plot a rescue plan. I glanced at Chevalier, who nods quietly. Was it because of her frailty after the Great War, or did Parfait somehow have a feeling? Oh, also. Congratulations on bringing your curse, Princess. Wait, rewind a bit. She expected to die. Did he mean... I don't know. Did he mean that she was gonna die anyway? I mean, she was gonna die eventually, I guess, because her body was frail and everything, right? So I guess it doesn't really matter, but, like, you know, it's still a gruesome death anyway. Congratulations on bringing your curse, Princess. Chevalier sits up straight, his eyes narrow behind his glasses. Well, so I was supposed to congratulate her first. Chevalier stands and kisses me promptly on the cheek. My cheeks flush and even Wallace looks embarrassed. Congratulations, my sweet. It was all very dramatic when your curse broke. There was this bright light and... Wait. I was not a bright light when I broke my curse. Both Waltz and I burst into laughter. Chevalier just sighs dramatically. He leans against my shoulder and does not protest. You know, I was wondering that maybe usually there is a bright light, yeah? So I was just wondering that maybe his curse wasn't, like, broken yet, even though he remembers his name and everything. So maybe we actually break his curse in the end or something? I don't know. I guess not. Maybe it's just not very dramatic for him. Well, I have a feeling that getting through the memory of last night might be easier with him here. If anyone can put a smile on my face, it's Chevalier. Well, we hope to see you again the Martian soon, Princess. I'll be back. After all, I have friends there. Did I speak falsely? No, of course not. It's the truth. Anyway, I need to get going. I've explained what happened to your father, but you should talk with him privately soon. After everything that happened last night, speaking of the king is the last thing on my mind, but I suppose it must be done. Thank you, Waltz. And you, Chevalier. Might want to ask for a guest room. But no bed is as comfy as the princess's. I nudge him without realizing it, but Chevalier just laughs. We promise Waltz that we will see him and everyone else in the Martian soon. Afterwards, Waltz hurries out and shuts the door. My eyes go to the edge of my bed, where something shiny catches my eyes. And the glass slipper. The glass slippers are a reminder of everything that happened yesterday. What happened to the little box thing? I was wondering, like, Waltz found something that turned him back to an adult or broke his curse or something? Maybe it has something to do with, like, the box? Because we never really mentioned the box ever again, you know? She found the box but never opened it, I don't know. Well, of the fact that life goes beyond just black and white, good and evil are subjective. In the end, life is gray, Mother. Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, even though she's always giving us bad advice, at least that advice is, you know, true. Both good and bad. But even so, even though fairy tale endings cannot exist, I still want to live my life with everyone else. Mythos centered his life around a single person. He was selfish, and I will become someone better than him. Thinking about Mythos makes me remember something.
Chevalier, yesterday you said that you took care of Mythos during the Great War, and no one came for him. Is that true?
I don't know, Lucette. He acted like it was, though, wasn't it?
So you never knew Mythos?
No, I didn't know him at all. That was just a bluff? I was wondering maybe you were somehow related, but I guess not. I don't know if I would have been able to strike him down if I did. I don't know what burden he carried, but it seemed heavy. I only guess of what I could say to distract him. I've heard rumors of a strong wish that went abandoned for many years. That may have been him. It might not have been.
So deception exists in everyone, but it's not entirely what Mother said it was.
I don't know if we're gonna learn more about his backstory in that case, Mythos' backstory. Will we ever have a route where he doesn't turn evil, and actually has some sympathy and maybe not try to murder everyone? That'd be great.
My birthday's tomorrow. I sit in the throne room speaking to my father, who has listened to my tale with patience. When it's over, he looks at me sadly.
I owe you an apology, Lucette. This whole time you've been on your own and I could not do a thing for you.
You can now, starting first by explaining what happened between you and Mother. You knew she was a witch.
I did. You did too before she forcefully erased your memories. I tried reaching out to you many times when you were a child, but my efforts were met with resistance. Still, I cannot excuse myself for what I have done. I truly abandoned you, and I'm sorry for that, Lucette. I will explain the story to you if you give me time. For now, I would very much like to mend my bond with you.
To be honest, the king still angers me. He only apologizes now after all of this has come to light. Whether or not I was difficult to speak to, he still had an obligation to seek me out. He's still late to care. But he's still my father, and I can forgive him. I can learn to trust him again. It will take time, but I would like to mend our bond. I would also like to try speaking with Emmeline, Rod, and Ophelia, but that will take time as well. The king smiles at me. It's one of the first honest smiles I've seen from him in years.
We have time. All the time in the world. We will mend our family bond, I promise.
As I turn to leave the room, the king calls out to me. Lucette,
I am proud of you. More proud than any other father in the realm could ever be of his child.
Okay. So in the end, we still get along with our royal family and everything. After what happened, we searched for Fritz, but he has vanished. Yeah, okay, Fritz disappeared again. Mythos and Varg has said they had replaced him, but they never said anything about what had happened to him. We searched endlessly, but to no avail. You see, he's 6 feet under, in the dirt. Anyway, all I can hope is that he's safe, and that I will reunite with him again in the future. Waltz's performance today was amazing. Don't you agree, Mr. Chevalier?
I agree. You ladies looked especially charming with so many lilies floating around you.
Oh my. He always speaks like that. Do not mind him. It's been a whole month since the events at the palace. My birthday has come and gone. Now my life begins. I've been practicing magic with Walt and Delora, attempting to bond with my family and visiting Martian when time allows me to. Anise was overjoyed to see me visiting often. Since Cinderella operates from there as a doctor, I visit often. Mostly though, he clings to me like a leech. Oftentimes I find him in my bed, but I could have sworn he was sleeping in another room for the night. Sometimes at night he has nightmares of blood on his hands, of Mythos' death. And those times I'm glad to be sitting right beside him, so I can promise him that things are alright. As for the fairy tale curse, I have no idea how Lucette puts up with you. Oh, and I guess Rod, I don't know, he never broke his curse, or I don't know. Rod's voice comes out from between his lips. Now he can actually sleep. Oh no, yeah, okay, actually we did. I guess we dispelled his curse somehow. I don't know. Since the fairy tale curse was tied to Mother's still living soul in the crystal, her disappearance and my taking her place immediately caused the root to vanish. Oh, okay. We didn't really know that before, I think. But yeah, so I guess, it doesn't matter. We don't, I guess, be a lover to every single be shonen, as long as we become the next bearer and we dispel Mother's soul and everything, everyone else is fine. They don't die or anything.
And like, I assume Claude, for example, doesn't turn to a beast anymore, and everyone turns out fine. You know? That's fine. Works out. Except, I guess, in this route, Parfait's dead, so well, that sucks, but well. I've been working for days to break everyone's fairy tale curses with magic, and when I'm done, no one in the kingdom will have to suffer from it ever again. Now, the Martian is not just a place reserved for the curse. Now it is open to the public. Lucette enjoys it, though. He finds my poetic weavings to be the best in the kingdom. What he means to say I can only put up with them because of our relationship. Loving someone so much you can put up with their nonsensical poetry. I thought you were the nice one, Princess Emmeline. No, she has a point. Emmeline focuses her attention on a musician standing off in the distance. She points excitedly, then rushes after them, pulling her brother with her. Her guards follow. Ever since the incident at the palace, we've had much more security. I do not blame the king, though it can be tiring at times. Luckily, he's more lax with me. When I told Chevalier was going to be with me, he settled with having Emmeline and I share guards. And so I get to be alone with Chevalier often. Father was very wary of him at first, until he found out he was a renowned doctor. Now he and Chevalier get on well enough. You know, he's not like a typical, you know, like boyfriend job, you know, as long as you have a respected job, like being a doctor, it's fine, you know. Anyway, Chevalier takes a step closer to me and I place my hands around his arm. Okay, yeah. Happy lovey-dovey? I'm no prince, nor am I a knight in shining armor. I'm just a doctor. A doctor who's been blessed with the most beautiful women in this world. Chevalier begins to lead me through town again. He's one of the only constants in my ever-changing life. He's the one that will always make me smile, and we share a burden of a friend's death. He's more burdened with nightmares than I am, and while I wish I could do more to help, I can at least listen to him, just like he listens to me. No matter the burden, it can be overcome. Lucette? Yes? I love you, more than anything in this world. I love you too. We share one kiss, ignoring the spectators in the town with a shared smile, then we follow after Emmeline. Okay. Alright, that's the happily ever after, yet another one. The third one. Yeah. I mean, it ended up like, you know, I feel like a little bit less action this time, I guess. You know, still a bit of, I guess, violence. You know, apparently we always have to have violence. At the very end there. Yeah, because since he's like a doctor, I guess, not like a Karma. Karma looks like more like a swordsman, so we learn more about like using swords and stuff. I guess Rod as well. I guess, you know, in fact, I feel like, yeah, Rod's route is, I feel like, kind of unique in the sense that we do end up in the palace, so we learn more about life in the palace during our curse. I guess, yeah, this one is more about, like, you know, him being a doctor and everything. I guess the most unique thing about this route is the fact that he broke his curse a lot easier, as it turns out. Again, like, I don't know, there just wasn't as much drama about surrounding this curse or anything. He just, you know, solved it on his own for the most part. Well, except, well, we did help him find the journals, I guess. We did that. Otherwise, well, not too much trouble breaking his curse, really. You know, he doesn't, like either he doesn't die, you know, or turn into a beast or anything. He just forgot his memories, and then he found his memories, and that's that. You know, I don't know. And that's it. Amazing. And since we've finished his route, we can move on to the other routes as well. I'm quite interested. I wonder why. I believe Waltz's and Fritz's, I assume, Fritz's route, they're both locked, I guess, until we do at least two of the beginning ones, right? So I assume the other routes, the last two, I guess, you know, the locked ones, might give us more details, you know, or, you know, give us something more interesting, or something more about the plot, or, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I wonder what happens, because every time, like, either Alcaster or Mithros are the main villains, but what happens next? Who will become the next villain now? I don't know. I assume it won't be exactly the same. Every route we've done so is slightly different, so I expect something, well, slightly different. Alright. Spool of Gold. Karma. Rod. And Rumpel. Rumpel? I was like Rumpel? Rumpel. Next is, I guess, weird hood thing and some Saint Quartz. I don't know. Anyway.